Welcome to a USC Libraries tutorial. In this video, I'll identify some common reasons to document a search, review some possible methods, and offer solutions to common problems in documentation. Literature reviews, systematic reviews, and other special kinds of reviews are types of bibliographic research. In this research methodology, databases are searched to find publications. Publications are selectively examined, and the bibliographic researcher writes a new publication, a review, summarizing information from these original publications. In bibliographic research, the sensitivity of the searches done directly affects the number of publications found, which directly affects the findings of the review and the validity of these findings. When you conduct any type of review, you may be asked to document your search, describe where and what you searched. This will allow readers to assess the search and assess the validity of your results. You may be required to adhere to some specific levels of documentation. Perhaps your course faculty provided some rules. Perhaps the journal you are submitting to has rules. Or perhaps you want to adhere to a standard. Even if no outside standard applies to your project, it's still useful to document a search to verify that you conducted a complete and thorough search, likely leading to valid findings, and to allow you to quickly and easily rerun it to update your review. Documenting a search, or documenting a search so it can be replicated, means describe exactly which databases you searched and when. Describe exactly the terms you used to search. Describe exactly the operators you used to connect the terms and any limits you applied. Documenting is most easily done using an actual document unconnected to any database. This allows you to use the same documentation process for all databases, allowing you to easily comply with documenting your complete search and rerunning it. More complex or lengthy searches might want to use a spreadsheet. You can make a tab for each database to help organize your search. If you have a shorter search, document in a word processing document or a text file. Each part of the documentation process is equally important. Track information about the exact database you used and tools or options within the database. This is easy to capture for a database like PubMed, which has one version which offers one search box and no options for changing your search. Other databases are more complex. For example, Medline is a database that includes portions of data from PubMed. If you use the USC Library subscription to Medline via the AvidSP platform, you can select between 9 different versions of Medline, each containing a slightly different set of data. Record the version of Medline you used and the date of your search. Additionally, some databases can be purchased on multiple platforms. USC licenses the Medline database from AvidSP, EBSCO, ProQuest, and FirstSearch, and other institutions may license from yet other providers. Read the library-provided description of the database, or look at the top and the bottom of the screen of the database you are using to determine the platform. Or you can ask a librarian. If you search a database with more complex ways to input a search, be sure to track what you did. In CINAHL, you can search using different search modes. You can also select which field to search in. Track this in your documentation. To document a search in clinicaltrials.gov Simple Search, you would need to document that you used a simple search and which fields you typed information into and which status you selected. Using an advanced search in a database will often offer different choices and should also be tracked. Consider the options offered by Google Scholar's Advanced Search. Keep track of exactly where you placed your search terms in the interface, either by writing this down or taking screenshots. Track exactly which words you used, including exact spelling, truncation, quoted phrases, subject headings, or other variations. Databases search for the exact letters in the exact order you type in. If you document that you did something like this, no one can tell what you actually typed into the database. As you can see, these different searches all include very different numbers of results. It's impossible to determine what words these authors typed into the database, so we cannot tell if this is a complete and thorough search. We cannot tell if the conclusions they drew are accurate or valid, and it's impossible to recreate the search so we can draw our own conclusions. The structure of the spreadsheet also indicates how you connected this ideas to others, using OR to connect similar terms and AND to connect concepts. Under the description of the database in search terms, you can add limits or filters that you applied. Shorter searches can be documented in word processing documents. While the format looks a little different, the content is the same. The exact database I searched, including version, platform, and advanced search, the exact terms I typed in and how they are connected, and any limits I applied. Most documentation for publication will ask you to document one search in detail so it can be replicated. Either of these approaches would include enough information to achieve this. If you are completing a publication and required to have this search documentation and do not have it for any database, inform the editor or publisher that you cannot supply it. As the search documentation is a method for your bibliographic research work, it is unethical research conduct to recreate something similar and publish it within the manuscript. Documented searches can be long and complex, and journals have word and line limits preventing display. You may not be able to send your complete file of documentation directly to the publication. Engage the editor in a discussion for how this has been handled by other papers, or look for other published examples from that same journal. Some common ways this has been handled include adding an online-only appendix. In the text of the publication, you could direct readers to a specific website where you have placed the document of your search for download. You could also suggest that readers can contact the corresponding author to obtain a copy of the search. In the example article used previously in this video, the authors describe the databases and dates of searching and used general search terms in the manuscript text. They included figures in the manuscript that included the exact search terms and Boolean operators connecting the terms. In bibliographic research, the quality of a search directly affects the validity of the findings. Assessing the quality of a search is required to use review papers responsibly, and it is the responsibility of the research team to document and make available the foundational methodology of their work, the complete, replicable search. If you need help documenting a search or writing search documentation that meets specific guidelines, contact the USC libraries.